Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
All right, welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Oh, yeah. Hello, and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Hello. Happy Wednesday. Love you. Okay, got a ton of emails and good stuff to get to here today. So if you sent one in, hang tight, baby. We'll try to get to it. I got a big stack of them, though. I'll see if I can get through as many as I can here today. Coming up just a few. Got a family text thread that we always do, so I always get to see what's going on with the family. And I just got word from my daughter, Caitlin. Apparently, she just booked a trip to Mexico.
All right.
Oh.
Okay.
Did you see the video of people in the Mexican airport ducking for cover the other day?
No, I didn't. I missed that one. I did see another one yesterday.
Gunfire broke out in the area out front of the airport, and all these people were like...
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What airport? Do you know which city?
It was a lot of touristy-looking people. It was probably close to Cancun or something.
Okay.
The
Like
Bullet Airport.
That's where she's
Death
going. Is
International.
Cancun. Yeah, that's really the thing about Mexico, it seems, is, all right, where are you going and are you safe anywhere in Mexico? It seems like there is some kind of risk. Now, there are areas that the more rural areas seem to be riskier, where there's just not as much law, and the cartels almost seem to run parts of it. Mexico City seems to be pretty safe. You would think that, some of your resorts are, but then they've had those stories recently about they had gunfire on one of the beaches of a resort in Cancun, and she's staying at a resort in Cancun. They had cartel guys on jet skis that came up and were firing into the back end of the resort.
Holy moly.
Yeah, exactly. So, she's going with all girls. So they're not going to have any guys with them. It's just going to be them. And she said, we're staying at an all-inclusive resort. She said, my friends want to get an Airbnb, and I said no. So they're staying at an all-inclusive resort in Cancun. And
Resorts are safer. Usually.
They're less
Safer.
murderous. They're less
Yeah.
murderous. They are.
Until the cartel drives up on a jet ski and shoots everybody laying out by the pool.
Yeah. So, that's just it. So you hear those stories, that come, from here and there, and you're like, oh my gosh, it just, so really trying to gauge just how dangerous Mexico is. Now, luckily, I think our State Department, they come out with a risk assessment level. And so if you are a traveler, you can go and see what color they have it at and maybe where you're going in Mexico, because they've had stories the last couple of weeks where cartel members have gone into one, was a wedding. They took 17 people out, they lined them up against a wall, and they gunned them all down.
Oh,
dead.
my gosh.
And the week before that, they had done it with 9 people. So, that's, some areas of
Good
Mexico.
Lord.
So, yeah, you just, I guess that's it. So,
Well, be careful.
But how was the wedding cake?
yeah.
Ooh.
Bloody. Yeah, so I don't know. So, yeah, I'm not, there's a little bit of caution in that.
When is she going? Did she give
August.
you her travel?
August.
Okay.
Yeah.
They clearly do those hits at a wedding not only because A, there's a bunch of people there, but B, it sends a message of holy shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
And-
big time.
Yeah.
Big
I
time.
mean, there might have been somebody who was a rat, and they're going after that person's family. That person might not even be at the wedding.
Well, you send a message, you find out all of a sudden 2 or 3 of your close inner circle, they are getting hit, and groups of people around them are getting hit. You're going, oh fuck, my days are numbered.
Yeah. Panchita's like, Kevin's having anxiety. Yeah, I don't love it. I do have a little anxiety with it. I'd feel a little bit better if the Queen and I were going, at least, because this is I'm sure a very valid comment Beth had said in the chat room. She said, even at a resort, do not go anywhere alone, not even your room, lobby, restroom, anything. And yeah, those are all.
It's true.
Those are all valid. There's just a lot of stuff, that you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And there's a lot of things that can happen. And I mean, I've even heard the water and some of the food. A lot of times you go there and you get that, what they call the Montezuma's revenge. I mean, that's not going to necessarily kill you, but that's not going to be fun if you fly to Mexico and you're shitting your brains out for 3 days. So I don't know.
It's scary. Why couldn't they go to Canada?
Right. Well, I mean, that's it.
Or the Bahamas.
Yeah, they
go to the Bahamas.
Yeah, she's 24 and she gets to call her own shots. But yeah, so I don't know.
I blame TikTok.
I blame TikTok.
There's probably some TikTok video about how cool it is in Cancun right now.
Well,
and maybe they know an influencer, they get everything paid for.
Yeah, they do. I think it was Tulum was the hot spot. Yeah, and
Tulum was hot.
And I remember I'd had a story. I think it was about 6 months ago now. But even the people in Tulum were saying, "Do not come here right now," because they have 6 cartels fighting for control of Tulum. And, they said on our streets, and that's what happens. The gringos come here and then they want to go see, hey, let's go sightseeing in Tulum. And they're like, don't go sightseeing in Tulum. Like, it's just we can't at that point. Look, you don't get the ins and outs of how things work around here, and yeah, something likely won't. But I think there was a couple American tourists that were shot dead in Tulum.
Well, that's my next question. How I know that the murders happen in Mexico, but how prevalent is it for tourists to get murdered? Is this a couple times a year? Is it a 50?
Yeah, it sounds like there's a couple cases every year, and I don't have the numbers, but. Yeah, there was like maybe 1 or 2, I think, American tourists that had died in Tulum from some of the gun stuff that had happened. And you don't know, too. I mean, how far in did these tours go? I mean, I remember when I went to Jamaica, I got so freaking high. And I was in with it, man. I had a guy that just whisked me away, got me stoned to a bejesus, and then I was up in the mountains somewhere with, places I shouldn't have been. And I would have been one of those guys that would have been capped, and it'd been like, well, if you would have stayed where they would have told you to, dummy. I didn't do it right.
Kevin's not staying at the resort. Well, not Jamaica, Kev.
No,
You always hear about.
I did the same thing.
People talking about weed in Jamaica. Is Jamaica weed next level? For example, if I was smoking Oregon or California weed, is the Jamaica weed more potent? Is it next level?
I mean, for me, it was next level. I'm not any authority on it. I know, man, there are times I can tell you some of the most stoned times I've been in my life, and it's not been a ton. Like I said, I'm not very experienced, but yeah, Jamaica was probably number 1, and Portland was probably number 2.
Well,
so
Portland, I think you took 2 hits in Portland.
2 hits.
And this motherfucker was texting me 14 hours later, Bird, I'm still high.
I was
what do I
massively,
do?
yeah.
He was back in West Palm.
I don't want to be high anymore.
He was back in West Palm. He's like, I think I'm still high, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Someone texted in and said, no, Jamaica is basura. Jay Bird, so they're saying it's garbage.
It's garbage?
I don't know. That's
okay,
just one text.
I'm asking the questions here.
Yeah. So, and this is a good point, too. Just when you go other places, they just got different laws, rules, ways, things that you got to know. Somebody said, look at that Brittany Griner in Russia. I mean, dumb that she was taking her liquid weed or whatever it was through airport security, and she's going to be held until middle of May at least.
If she's lucky.
At least, and they were talking about as much as 5 years.
Oh,
yeah,
my.
she could be fucked, man.
Well, and especially as an athlete, too. When you're an athlete, that clock is ticking. I think she was making a little over $1 million a year playing basketball in Russia. And, I mean, they're taking 5 viable financial years away from her if she got that. On top of you're losing 5 years of your life.
And she's got clout, too. I believe she's got a couple, doesn't she have some medals she's won? I think she's an Olympic gold.
I don't have her over credentials.
She's done some stuff in her career, and if you're Russia, you're probably like, okay, we have somebody they're going to care about.
We got a blue ribbon pig.
Yeah,
we got a good catch here.
I think they would be happy with any kind of catch like that. No, am I off?
I think you're right.
Have I been watching Rocky IV too much?
Yeah.
Probably.
I don't know. Well, people-
Ever since you heard Sylvester Stallone listens to this show, you have been on a Rocky run.
Oh, between that and the whole Ukraine situation, I've been watching Rocky IV on the reg.
Yeah. Amy, too, somebody just sent me this. There was a video of two guys just last week. They were driving down to Cancun, and they got stopped by a truck full of guys with guns pointed in their face. And, yeah, that's it. I think they would probably tell most Americans, yeah, don't go. And they were on a rural road. And that's it, That's just
Is it the two guys that were bird watching?
Yeah, they had them on
my
Inside
gosh.
Edition, and it's like, dudes, you just that's it. Rural Mexico is not a place for gringos who
Those
are fresh out of
two
the city.
seemed like the sweetest, most gentle souls. They're like, no, we're just out here trying to look at
They
birds.
were,
And they were being honest. They were just trying to bird watch, which sounds so boring, but
yeah,
whatever.
They were both so freaked out with the whole thing. So, yeah, so we'll see. People trying to make me feel better. Jamie said she'll be fine. She has queen blood. And Keither said, yeah, just tell him that her mom shits in boxes. That should be fine. That's true. All true.
They may like the Queen's Act and hire her. Is she available for the cartel?
I feel like the Queen could run a cartel.
Yeah.
No, I think she really could. I mean, if she really committed herself to it, she'd be fine.
If she was born into that family,
Yeah.
and the father had to hand her the reins,
Yeah.
he would feel like the empire was fine.
Well, she's got that. You look at that. Her edge is all Spanish. That's the Mexican side that has created the edge, and I think it just came from her upbringing. I mean, not Chicago and Joliet's a tough ass area anyway, and then on top of it, her grandma and her family, they are very tough people. And I was talking, we were telling some stories about her grandma the other day, and I was talking to my mother-in-law, and she had heard the segment. She's like, "Oh my gosh," she's like, the stories of that woman. She's like, did you talk about how, I guess the FBI was after her.
Really?
Yeah. And that was it. And she had slipped through the feds. So she had all kinds of federal offenses. And she had hid out in a nursing home as a little old lady. And so she had tried to make herself more feeble so the feds wouldn't catch her.
It's a good move.
When she died, she was on house arrest.
Wow.
So the FBI
She went out
Yeah.
gangster.
Yeah.
She died with the monitor ankle
Yeah,
bracelet.
in a nursing home.
Bitch was hard.
And then she had a whole ruse of, I'm going to act like I'm older. And that's good stuff. You could tell she had a brilliant criminal mind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So she's like, and you're right. She's like, you were laughing about how she didn't like the gringos. She's like, yeah, I remember one time I was at a wedding with her, and she didn't realize that she was talking to the bride's family, and they were marrying, a Mexican, and she just was like she's like going, what the fuck is she doing marrying this hillbilly anyway? Said that right to the
family of the hillbilly.
yeah, she said that was a little uncomfortable. But she didn't pull any punch. She said she probably would have said it anyway. She doesn't care. She's not there to spare anybody's feelings. So.
She's just there for the free food and to steal the silverware.
She stole all their shit. Yeah, she stole everything. She was stealing the wedding gifts, everything. She just loaded all up. She's like, no, and she would justify. She's like, no, mija, when they invite you to a wedding, this is for everyone.
They tell you to take it.
Yes, that's why you're invited.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I wish you would have met her.
She's loading the trunk of her stolen car down and driving right out. It's probably like, where's all of our shit? Yeah. So she's like, you definitely have some stories. So yeah, so the queen could hold her own if she decided to. But what a transition!
The queen needs to go to Mexico with Caitlyn for some muscle.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, we'll discuss it, because the queen is like, you go to Mexico, you can wind up kidnapped. So, and she's very protective. So who knows? I might wind up in Mexico in August.
Oh boy.
Well, we were scheduled, and here's why it throws everything off, because we were seriously talking about going to El Paso to see some of her family in July. And that was kind of where we were hitting on. And then that's the whole debate is, do we go see the other part of the family in Juarez? Now, Juarez is one of those areas, that's where they decapitate people and hang them off of bridges.
Sounds like a party. Let's go.
Yeah, so that's the one where I'm like, I'm not sure I've fully gotten there with the Juarez trip yet. I'm like,
August too is I think that's the Bigfoot Festival in Logan.
it is. I know. So
I think I'm just gonna buy that ticket and just see what happens. We can meet each other if you want to go.
You'll be a lot safer in Logan.
Oh yeah.
A lot safer in Logan, I think. But who knows? Who knows? I got a couple emails actually here about Logan.
Really?
Yeah.
Logan's brought up for being a small town. I hear
know.
about Logan all the time.
It's
outside of the show. I hear about Logan.
Like, it is a weird, quirky place, dude. It really is. Stephanie in Hollywood said, "Yeah, there's this podcast called Sword and Scale. You can listen on the Apple Podcast app, and there's one about Logan, Ohio, Kevin's hometown. It's number 199." The summary says, deep in the hills of Ohio, where people keep to themselves, hunting, fishing, and partying around the fire pit, sometimes the predator becomes the prey. When Jim Whitaker of Hocking Hills turns up missing, his family naturally becomes concerned. They're even more shocked to find a suicide note he left, implying a twisted love affair that may have brought about his demise. But where is Jim? Only the hills know.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about. Logan's
Yeah.
fucked up in a creepy Twin Peaks kind of a way, and I love it.
Yeah, I asked my dad about it. I'll give you the spoiler alert real quick. It was two gay hillbillies on meth, and the one guy dismembered his lover.
What did he do with the head?
I don't know. He chopped it all up. Yeah, he completely. Wow. Yeah, they love chopping up bodies in Logan. I don't know why.
The people, murderers just love chopping up bodies.
They do.
We talk about. I think it was this show we were talking about it, where do they like to? Are they chopping the bodies up because they want to get rid of the body, or are they chopping up the body because they're getting off on it? They like it. Some of them get off on dismembering the body.
Okay, I guess you got two different camps.
Yeah, don't even let me tell you about the Edward Kemp story. Virginia, if I did, you wouldn't sleep for a week.
I need to sleep. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Mama likes beauty rest.
But it's all not crazy chaos. Nick sent an email. He said, today a customer came into my office wearing a fire department shirt that said Logan across the front. I asked him if it was Logan, Ohio, and he was amazed that I knew of Logan. When he asked me how, I told him about the Kevin Ralston and the amazing KVJ show. It was so cool. Just wanted to share. I love you guys. So.
Did the guy go, oh, yeah, fuck yeah, I know Kevin?
I doubt he does. Yeah, I think my name has finally started to, dissipate in Logan.
Bullshit.
I think.
Wait till
No.
August comes around here, my friend. Oh, they're going to know about the Kevin Ralston a lot at this Bigfoot festival.
Okay.
We're bringing it back.
Oh, we
Yeah.
are bringing it back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be Ralston Day declared once again, my
Okay.
friend.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, people definitely remember the impression I left on the town. They lined up at my mom's funeral to tell me all about it. So some of them had gripes from 30 years ago. They just, I mean, it was like a serving line of people who just wanted to scold me for being an asshole.
That sounds...
They're still pissed.
That was it. It was a line of 30 deep just waiting to scold me. I was like, all right, who's next? What else did I do?
Have you been to a funeral like that where people are sitting at the front and everyone just kind of talking and kind of like a line?
Yeah.
I haven't seen too many. It's usually people go up, see the body in the casket, and then kind of go back to their seats.
No.
Yeah.
When my stepmother passed away last year in the summer, there was a big long line, and I felt so bad for my dad and my sister and my brother because they just had to stand there right by the open casket for 3 hours. And this was the wake. This was like Friday night before the funeral. They had to just stand there as this line of people for 3 hours came by and said, we're so sorry. We're so sorry.
Yeah, that was kind of like a mom's funeral, but it was set up different because remember they had the open casket. I'm not going in there and looking at her dead body. So I was kind of out front in the little foyer area, and then Dad was in sitting next to Mom in the open casket. And so they would see me first, bitch at me, and then they would go in and see Mom. So that's pretty much how it went. So
It is weird when you meet people from 25 years ago that have a grudge from
right
from
away.
when you were like
How
15,
you doing? You remember
16.
shooting out my windows? No, that actually wasn't me. That was Josh Stillwell.
No.
That wasn't even me. Yeah. So yeah.
Josh Stillwell. What a Logan name.
Yeah.
Stillwell.
Yeah, Stillwell. Yeah, he's still around them parts. Let me see here. A couple other emails that we got here. Alex said, I heard you talking about the Peltz wedding that is going on. That's also known as the Beckham wedding.
Yes, the fancy one.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because I worked at Mr. Peltz's house on Palm Beach for years, and believe me, I would not be surprised if he spends an absurd amount of money on a wedding for his daughter. He has pretty much the largest estate on Palm Beach, which totals 14 acres. And the years that I worked there, it only seemed like he and his family came in maybe 3 or 4 weeks out of the year.
Wow.
I had only seen him a couple of times, never had a conversation with him, but it's crazy the kind of money that is on Palm Beach Island.
Can you imagine you have a house like that and you only come there twice a year?
No, I couldn't.
Well,
For a few days.
That's kind of the crazy thing about it because, yeah, it really, what a waste. You have so many beautiful condos and houses on Palm Beach and throughout South Florida. It's not even just there. That just really sit at, I mean, this is a massive house. I think it's a $72 million mansion, and you use it 3 to 4 times a year.
Damn.
And maybe when your daughter gets married, which how often does that happen in a lifetime? And we'd actually gotten a text at the end of the show that said, I'm so tired of hearing about all these damn billionaires, especially when so many people are suffering. It makes me nauseous. He said, the comment's not directed towards you guys. I know you guys report about celebrities and stuff. It's just so disheartening, especially for natives, when our children can't even afford a home around here in Palm Beach County. And it really is. I mean, there's definitely validity to that. It's crazy. It's a blessing and a curse. I mean, the money brings things to the area, but yeah, to me, that's one of the sickest things is people that just don't invest, and this is their 3rd or 4th or 5th home, and they're never really there, and it just sits,
I do know what you mean.
That is crazy.
It's not fair.
It's not. You're just like, I mean, come on. Think of all the people that could use this. Or,
yeah, could I just use it when
Right.
you're not here? I promise I'll keep it clean.
at least do Airbnb or something. I mean, do something so other people could at least enjoy all this.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever got turned in a legit mansion. I'm talking about, holy shit, this is on the water. I don't even know if I've even been to one of those kind of mansions. I mean, I've been to some mansions before for some bullshit with work, but I don't know if I've ever been to a Palm Beach or a Miami. Have you guys been to that before?
I've been to. I mean, they're all of different levels. I mean, I had been to the one that Donnie's kid was renting out. Was it Eric or Don Jr. something like that? So I went to that. It wasn't that massively impressive. It's by Mar-a-Lago. I've been to a few. I know Virginia's been to more fancy than I have.
I think the best one I've ever been to is Chris Klein, the billionaire that died in the helicopter crash. He's just right there at Seminole is the area, right on the ocean.
I have been to a house there at Seminole. It was unreal.
He was neighbors with Elin, Tiger's ex, and I think he even dated her for a little while.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they were living next door to each other. His crib was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he had people just walking around with silver trays of Dom Perignon like it was nothing.
Yeah, but he was here a lot, right?
He was.
I know he had a place in West Virginia too, but
He did.
Yeah, I think he actually used his home, and that's like, hey, look, if you got it and you use it, great. It's just the ones that are ridiculously massive and they're not even being used. They're just like, what the hell?
Would you feel better if they at least use it for 6 months? Would that be the cutoff? A half a year they use it?
Yeah,
That's a long time.
I feel better, and it would be awesome, if they were in it longer, but a lot of people don't, and that's just the way it goes. I know, we always, Queen and I we would always walk around Palm Beach, and I think it was the Estee Lauder people have a place that is right kind of at the end of the beach there, and they have, I think, 3 or 4 houses all grouped together.
I know exactly what you're talking about. My
Yeah.
friend pointed it out one time. It's like a little compound.
It is. It's like a little compound, and they are there maybe 2 to 3 months out of the year, legitimately, and then because we had walked solidly for a whole year, then you don't see them at all. So they just sit there the rest of the year.
It's crazy.
I'd rather have a souped up cabin out in the woods. I'm talking, you put all the money in that, make that thing a mansion cabin.
You're a man of the woods. You like all that nature shit. I would not do well. I'm just not woodsy. I'm not a camper. I'm
But
not like
You make this cabin the best you could ever make it. We're talking a wine tub whatever you want, whatever the shit you're into. Wine
Yes,
tubs.
I must get a tub full of wine.
Wine
Kevin.
tub's not what I'm looking for.
I'm not getting out till I drink it all.
But yeah, you could make it. I would do a mansion out in the woods.
If it was a cabin on a lake,
Yeah, well, you could do that.
maybe I would do that. But if it was just all surrounded by woods, I don't know. To me, it's not as fun. I want to be in the action, baby. I want to be by the ocean.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, I was telling you about the Miami Grand Prix, the Formula One racing that's going to be coming up weekend of May 6th. They've already got Post Malone. He's booked. He's going to be playing at Hard Rock Live. So you want to talk about big, high rollers and a lot of money. Suits is talking about just how much, and that's more of a global thing. It's almost kind of like soccer is.
Yeah.
Globally, he said that it actually kind of dwarfs NASCAR. Because Formula One is something that you'll see the rich people in Italy and Greece and all those European countries and South America. So we'll see tons of money around Hard Rock Stadium that weekend. And Amy said that I heard you talking about the Formula One, and my husband and I stumbled into a Netflix show called Drive to Survive. It's a docuseries that gives you a behind-the-scenes look at what goes on each racing season with the teams. You really get to know the drivers and the management of each team. It's a fascinating thing to see. It's really well done, and it got us invested in the drivers and the teams, which helped us know now when we watch races, which we'd never done before, who to look for and the storylines going on between it. She said, it is a great way to learn about the inner workings of a multi-billion-dollar worldwide phenomenon that I knew nothing about previously.
Drive to Survive.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, I love all the places that have the party, so I'm interested in the party, but that would be kind of interesting. And I don't know. I mean, I'm going to try to find out, is this something, and there are many events in South Florida that the common man, it's just you're priced out of it. You can't do it. So if there's a cheap, poor man's way of getting into this thing and enjoying it, I'll try to find it and I'll share it if I can figure it out.
I was just looking at my notes that I took because that sounded familiar. My dad told me that Drive to Survive on Netflix. He's like, you got to show it to Rocco. Rocco would love it.
Okay, all right.
I need to make that a point to do.
Well, if you want to get psyched up and head out to that Formula One thing, that's the way to do it.
We could sneak in, give me a couple fake mustaches. I can get us in.
Got it, huh?
All you need is a clipboard, a lanyard, and
Fake mustache.
looking like you know where you're going.
The big three. You're right.
I got a interesting story here from Kentucky John. He said back in 1988, when I was a sophomore in high school, my friends and I were up at Double Roads trying to figure out how we could get some weed. And those days, weed would dry up at times, and it'd be hard to find.
Oh, in 88? Forget about it. Definitely.
So I was looking down the beach from up above, and I saw something right on the edge of the water. I asked my friend Richard, hey, what do you think that is right there? And he said, well, it's either a boat bumper or a bale of weed. So we decided to check it out, and we got closer. I realized, wow, I believe that's weed. So I took my car keys, I jabbed through the layers of white plastic and pulled back, and weed came busting out. I couldn't believe my eyes. I got my buddy Rich down there, and we're just looking at it in shock. We didn't say a word. We just started dragging it towards the dune. Now, this is 90 pounds of weed that also was half wet, so it was not light. Somehow we got it right up under the lip of the dune and popped our heads up and looked around. I went and opened the passenger side of the door, and I laid the front seat all the way back. And with a crazy amount of adrenaline, we threw it in and took off. Now, this goes to show you have no fear at 16 or 17 years old, because I was driving a 76 Trans Am with a very loud muffler and a taillight out.
Oh, my God.
And back then, Juno cops were everywhere.
Absolutely.
But I knew as long as I made it across the Donald Ross Bridge without getting pulled over, we were good. So my buddy Rich was staying behind me in his car, very close, so no cop could get behind me. So we had made it. We hit the dirt road behind Westwood Gardens on Hood Road, where I lived at the time, parked the cars, ran in, got some garbage bags and a shovel, because Rich said we could bury it. 4 hefty sacks full. It was crazy for young kids who never really had any money. So at the time, we both had a mutual friend, Brian, whose dad smoked pot, and said we could stash it there, so we did. He had a big house on Prosperity Farms, and it filled both bathtubs to the rim with weed.
Wow.
Yeah, he said now a lot of it got wet, so even dry, it had a funk smell to it, but it did still get you high. So my sophomore and junior and senior year, I never had a job, but I always had money. Not a ton of money, but enough for a kid my age. I'd put like 2 pounds in the trunk, and I'd sell as much as I could grab with one hand for $20 in the junior parking lot at Jupiter High School during lunch.
I didn't know Kentucky John was so local. That's awesome.
Yeah. He said, anyhow, keeping a grouper can be done if you have loyal friends.
And we're talking back in 1988, dog.
1988,
It's
yeah.
a different time, my
yeah.
gosh. But that's a funny story. Yeah, he's so right about Juneau back in the day. It's still crawling with cops down by that Double Roads area, but Juneau in the 80s, forget about it, Virginia.
Yeah. Well policed, huh?
That was, I'm sure Mag's party's down at Double. You know where Double Roads is at, right? Double Roads is pretty much the little fork of Carlin Park and Juneau Beach.
Yes, I do know where that is.
That's always in northern Palm Beach County. That's where always the teenagers party, Virginia, and the freshmen to sophomore in college. So just be on the lookout.
Mm-hmm. Also on Make Up or Breakup today, we had a person that was upset. They had gotten married to the girlfriend after 7.5 years because they wanted to have kids, and they've been trying for like the last 2 months after getting married 6 months ago. And he goes into the bedroom. She's crying, and she admits to him that she's inbred, and not like fifth cousins inbred. Her mom and dad were brother and sister, biological brother and sister. In fact, it was a whole scandal. They had to leave their state. They changed their name, all that kind of stuff. And he's like, the reason why we did this was to have children. Now, what the heck is this going to mean if we have a kid? They're going to come out with 3 heads. Becca had said, generally, first-generation inbreeding doesn't cause too many genetic issues. With him introducing non-related DNA, they should be okay. Keep her, but have a strong talk about honesty and definitely do the early blood test for the baby. Okay, so because we were saying we needed some medical insight, and I guess that's it. So,
Our chat room email, Dr. Chat Room.
mm-hmm.
Medical Beard Dan.
Yes.
Yeah. This is from Star and Stewart. Said you're talking about profanity in country music. You're talking about how you don't really see profanity in country. Well, you see a little bit more. What I think I was talking about was I was equating to I listen to some of the hip hop now. It's so graphic. I mean, it's like wet ass pussy. It's
that's tame compared to some of the stuff that's out there.
I mean, some of the stuff I'm like, gosh, I can't listen to this. It's just
It gets to a level of vulgarity to go, what am I
it's
doing?
just way too descriptive. It's just, I get it. All right.
Make it stop.
Yeah.
We get that it's wet.
Yeah, it's a lot more on top of. So country's not that, but they'll throw in, shit and things like that. And, Blake Shelton's got, a couple shit bombs in his songs.
And we'll put a boot in your ass. Okay, Toby Keith.
Yeah, she threw out a couple that have more profane. But yeah, I think honestly, Star, these are not popular songs. The hip hop songs are very popular hip hop songs that are that graphic. She talked about Trey Lewis's "Dick Down in Dallas."
Oh,
which it's pretty graphic, and then Wheeler Walker Jr.'s "Fuck You, Bitch."
damn.
Yeah, so I mean, you do have curse words in that, but again, that's not getting played on country radio, even bleeped out. Those aren't those level of songs. So I mean, as of right now, you'll have Blake Shelton with a few, and every now and then there's a couple songs that will throw shit in it, but definitely not the same level of graphic commentary.
I always thought Shit Kicker would be a good name for a country group. We're going to see Shit Kicker tonight.
You can't say it on the radio.
I know. That's why we can't do anything with it.
You better get canceled before y'all even start.
Shit Kicker's canceled.
Somebody said maybe some David Allen Coe. Actually, they had some profanity in that. from back in the
Yes,
day.
he mixed in some racism too. So he
Oh,
was.
that's always well-rounded.
Yeah, he was a little
Yeah.
off color.
Who's the one that sings, It Was All I Could Do to Keep from Crying? Bow, bow, bow. That's my cut. That's a good. Is that David Allen Coe?
It sounds like it.
You should know that, Kev. You're the music
I don't
man.
know I don't know a lot of the classic country too well.
Yeah,
I know
you don't go
the-
too deep into the old ones.
That's Hank,
Hank.
I think. Oh, no, it's David Allan Coe. You're
Okay,
right. It
all
was
right.
David Allan Coe. You never even called me by,
By
my
my
name.
name.
Yeah, I thought that's what that was. That's actually a big song. I remember when I went to the Florida-Georgia game, they loved that song. They were blasting that at the tailgate parties.
It's a jam, and I guess it's kind
Never even call me by my name. Yeah, that's a good one.
And then there's the people add in their own words to it. There's like a party one you can do.
Yeah, that's one of his tame songs. That is not one of his crazy
I'm not
songs.
a big fan of having racism mixing it with my music.
No.
Keep out the Klan anthems.
Thank you.
Yeah. Klan jams.
Nah, we're going to go ahead and cut those from the party playlist.
Oh, my God.
It's a new day, David. Sit down.
It is. Look around country.
Is he alive still?
Let's see.
Well, we have to go to do a deep dive.
David Allan Coe.
I thought you all knew.
He's
Old school country.
82 and he's still alive. And he still plays
Oh, yeah?
Confederate
Still
country.
Still racist, do they say?
Still racist.
Still hasn't shook that off of him yet?
Still a dick. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if he's still a dick, but
Okay. All right. Well, some interesting information here today. Thank you guys very much for all your insight, your emails. Get them to us, mail at kvjshow.com.
thank you to our friends at Atoll Vodka for their delicious and refreshing beverages. They are going to be out, actually, sponsoring one of these cryptocurrency conferences. If you've ever wanted to learn about cryptocurrency,
Okay.
I guess they are going to be the featured vodka of the Palm Beach Crypto Conference. You can get your tickets at palmbeachcryptoconference.eventbrite.com.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.